We begin with developing news in the migrant shelter crisis in Massachusetts. An emergency hearing held late this afternoon as the Bay State prepares to put a cap on families entering the shelter system starting tomorrow. Welcome to Western Mass News at 6. I'm Abby Carnevale. Western Mass News reporter Daniel Santiago joins us live in studio with the outcome of that hearing. Daniel, what can you tell us?
Abby, a lawsuit was filed on behalf of 3 families sheltering who, according to lawyers, find themselves on the brink of homelessness due to the possible cuts in services to the state's emergency shelter system. Over 90 cities and towns across Massachusetts are sheltering nearly 7,300 families facing housing instability, as well as newly arriving migrants. Hotels and even motels are being used as emergency shelters. The latest in Western Mass, the Nights Inn Hotel in Hadley hosting 9 families. But Governor Maura Healey, who declared a state of emergency back in August based on the surge of migrant families arriving in Massachusetts, announced earlier this month that as of November 1st, which is tomorrow, the shelter will be not taking more people in. Today, inside a courtroom in Suffolk County, an emergency hearing took place where a judge heard from the group of lawyers for civil rights asking for a temporary restraining order to stop the state from undermining the state's right to shelter law.
With a cap in place, the shelter system will fill up imminently. The defendants have predicted by possibly the end of the week, and families will then be placed on a wait list. Given the emergency nature of the shelter program, this is a lot like the fire department creating a wait list for families with ongoing house fires.
Attorney Love argued that making any changes to the shelter system starting tomorrow would be a direct violation of the legislative mandate requiring the state to provide 90 days notice to the legislature before changes go into effect. The judge asking Assistant Attorney General Kimberly Parr for reasons why that notice wasn't given.
Why not send the information over consistent with the proviso and give them 90 days to take action?
2 responses to that, Your Honor. One is that there is a question as to whether or not, and we go into this in our brief, it's not our primary argument, but there is some debate about whether or not the notice provision applies in these circumstances, both in terms of the particular action the agency is taking, but more importantly, because we're in a time of deficiency.
The judge in this case has decided to consider every detail and take into account all the information submitted into the courtroom today and come back tomorrow with a decision on the temporary restraining order. Reporting live in studio, Daniel Santiago, Western Mass News.